Hey everyone, so I came across this video where this kid, young adult, whatever he is, asked a question that I thought I would give an answer to. Make sure you like and subscribe and share out this with all your friends. So here we go.
Hello people, this is just a quick video of me giving a question to all those atheists out there, so this will only be quick, and this is a challenge for you atheists to answer this question.
As you can see, this is already turning out to be like one of those one answer atheists can't answer type of thing. So let's hope that it's an extremely good question.
How is the human body so great?
Well, greatness is actually a subjective term. So why is it so great for what? What are we referring to?
I mean, evolution must have had consciousness.
No, this shows me you don't know anything about evolution. In the most simplistic way of explaining it, evolution is basically small changes over time. That means new features that are beneficial to an organism happen over periods of time. Here's a young Richard Dawkins explaining the evolution of the eye.
Well, suppose we start with an ancestor who didn't really have an eye at all, but just a single, simple sheet of light-sensitive cells. That's represented by this screen here, and there's a television camera behind looking at the screen so that we on the screen, on the television screen, shall see what this primitive animal would see. So this animal, with hardly any eye at all, will at least be able to tell the difference between light and dark. Light and dark. Now, the next stage in evolution would be to have a shallow cup. This animal would be able to tell the direction that light is coming from, because there a shadow would appear. A shadow would appear there. And if you can tell the direction a light is coming from, then you can tell the direction that a predator is coming from. Now, although we've represented this as a cup coming out from the wall, it would in fact probably be an indentation, and it would be a gradual indentation. It's inconvenient to make a gradual indentation. It has to be made as a rather abrupt cup that comes out 6 inches at a time. But it's easy to see that that shadow effect that we've just been witnessing would work progressively and gradually as the cup gets bigger. Let's make it bigger still now, Bryson. And this cup is even more effective. And if we go on to the next stage where we make the cup gradually bigger again, so big that it becomes just a little hole in the end. Right now, this animal has a very good idea of exactly where the light is, and by the same token, exactly where, for example, a predator is. And I think with this eye, we might even get a little image. See if we can get an image of Bryson's hand. That smudge there is Bryson's hand, and you can just about see a very dim image of his fingers. So an animal with an eye like this would be able to see perhaps just a little bit what kind of predator it was. Let's go to the logical conclusion, which would be a pinhole. Remember, this is all gradual change in evolution. Right, let's see if we can see your hand again, Bryson. Now I can see a rather precise picture of Bryson's hand. It's not a very bright one, but I can see every finger clearly delimited. So I could see, if I were this animal, I could see my predator in some detail. How might the lens have evolved? Well, let's imagine that it started with just a single transparent sheet of some transparent material. And all that this was doing, it's not a lens yet, all that it's doing is protecting the eye. In Nautilus, seawater flows right inside the eye. This animal now has some protection. And the eye is really just the same as though there wasn't any transparent material there. Now, we're going to use an optician's set of lenses here. It would be nice to be able to have just one bit of transparent material which we would then squeeze and make thicker. But we can't do that, so we're going to replicate that effect by a whole series of little lenses. So this is the next stage in evolution. This animal here, let's get an image of that. Okay, that's a rather better and above all brighter image of the hand. Let's have the next lens in. Right, now, if an animal that had an eye like that would have a really very, very clear view of its world, it could tell exactly what its predator was. Would anybody like to come out and have their face looked at? Right, yes. What's your name?
Davina.
Say it again?
Davina.
Davina. Now, did you remember where Bryson put his hand? Can you put your face just down there? We need the lights down, I think, for this, don't we? There we are. Very nice. This animal can even see what its predator's face looks like. Upside down, but we all see upside down.
To know that we need eyes to see and lungs to protect the organs and body.
Are our eyes pretty good? Yeah, they are. We can see everything we need to see and we can sense light and all that. But our eyes can always be better. Hell, there's a particular roundworm that can actually sense light anywhere between 10 to 100 times better than humans can. And they don't even have eyes. Cats and horses have better nocturnal vision than we do. Eagles and other birds of prey have spectacular vision, being able to see their prey up to 2 miles away. And sharks can see electric waves and in dark water.
Also, it's called to protect our brain.
Fun fact, you can break a bone just by stepping the wrong way.
And don't forget DNA, which that's another subject.
Yeah, let's not get into that because I don't want to have to point out all the ways that that's not perfect either.
And somehow the Big Bang knew we would need toes to stop us from falling over.
It is so easy to break those little suckers. And stop conflating the Big Bang with evolution. They are two totally separate things.
Sperm to make a child, to then make the human race multiply.
Do we have sperm? Well, of course we do. That doesn't mean the human body is great by any means. Is the insemination process perfect? Absolutely not. Now, don't get me wrong, the act is fun as hell, but not everyone can get pregnant. Infertility happens in 10 to 15% of men who have a complete lack of sperm, and about 60% of women from the ages of 15 to 46 who can't get or have difficulty staying pregnant, which is also a sign of infertility.
Nails to grip, fist to protect.
If protection is the first thing that comes to mind when you think of fist, you need to get your priorities straight.
Legs for the perfect balance. 2 legs for the perfect balance, obviously.
Bipedalism isn't perfect for balance. If we want a perfect balance, we should have 3 legs. And there are creatures with far better balance, such as cats. And studies have shown that bipedalism occurred due to the need of holding things while walking rather than balance.
I could go on and on and on and on and on, etc., etc. On about the evidence of our, on how the evidence of our life, nature, and how the human body all comes to the logical evidence of an existence of a conscious creator.
And I can go on and on and on with evidence of the contrary. We're supposed to be God's chosen animal, and yet our skin is not as tough as, say, the hide of a rhino. And due to arterial malformations, we can have our trachea or esophagus compressed.
It really baffles me on how atheists have got the evidence right in their faces, and they still are asking us to give them our evidence. Somehow the Big Bang, aka evolution, also knew we would need oxygen to keep, life going.
Again, you need to stop conflating Big Bang and evolution. These are two totally separate theories. As for your oxygen comment, oxygen wasn't even the first thing on this planet. It wasn't even the first thing in the galaxy. It is theorized that the very first thing that was produced by the Big Bang was actually helium and an isotope of helium. Nothing you've brought forth tonight has shown anything that says that the human body is great. I'm also starting to think that you're confusing complexity with greatness. Is the human body complex? Yeah. Is it great? No. You may also be looking around at your environment thinking that you are perfectly designed for it, when in all actuality, we designed our environment to suit our needs, not the other way around. So now that I've answered your question, I'm going to ask you the exact same question. Knowing that our bodies are not as perfect as they could be when it comes to certain things, how is our body great? So that's it for this video. Stay tuned for more, and remember, stay frustrated.